So sandhis are of three kinds. First is the Sarveshwara Sandhi, which means the combination of the vowels. Then we have the Vishnu Jana Sandhi, which means the combination of the consonants. And then the third will be the Vishnu Sarga Sandhi, the combination, we can say Sandhi, which happens in relationship with the Vishnu Sarga. So three types of sandhis. So first of all, we'll study different types of Sarveshwara Sandhi. So beginning here. So before that, is there any question related to the Sangya Prakaran?
No, Prabhu. I think, I mean, I have to still practice a few of them, but it's okay. I can memorize the flow of the sutras and all.
Yeah. And what about Manohar Prabhuji?
No questions, Prabhu.
So one thing also which Vivek Prabhu was saying to Manohar Prabhu that means like Manohar Prabhu, we have read this Harinamamrit Vyakaranam before also to some extent in Matsyatar Prabhu's school, or rather Gopi Pranam Prabhu's school. But Vivek Prabhu is really new to this system, so he was like, initially, can we do little less sutras? Because ideally, I was thinking that we'll do 20 sutras approximately per week. But he was like, initially for a month or so, we can study around little less sutras. So I proposed, okay, if that is the case, because when it is new, it takes time to understand the pattern, the sutra way, because it's not the modern way of study, the sutra style. It's like something traditional. So I was thinking, if that is the case, for a month or so, we can study 15 sutras per week. If Manohar Prabhu, you like agree with it? Mm.
Yes, Prabhu, I'm okay with whatever you decide. And yes, I think it's better to have some, I mean, pace, a slower pace in the beginning, because it happens that you don't study in one point and then you accumulate sutras to learn, then it becomes difficult to learn them after. So I agree with whatever you decide.
Okay, so for a month initially, like we can study 15 sutras per week so that all the sutras are memorized and understood very well, because that is like the main thing expected. So now another thing is, shall we do 4 classes and study like three, four sutras, or shall we do 3 classes and study five sutras per week? You may suggest, please.
Oh, personally, I have some problems following Thursday and Friday class for a couple of months, but I am happy to hear the recordings. So again, whatever it's better for the two of you, it's okay for me.
I think as long as Manohar Prabhu has problem with Thursday and Friday, we can have 3 days, Prabhu. I'm okay with it.
So I was thinking like, if I mean, okay, Manohar Prabhu, you're having difficulty on Thursday, Friday, right?
Yes, until the beginning of June.
Okay, so what about this Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday?
Saturday, not always, but as I'm saying, I'm okay with if I cannot be present directly, then I will listen to the recording.
Means because we have many days except Thursday and Friday, so we can choose other, like Monday, or we can
Monday
do
is fine.
Monday is good, Wednesday is good, right?
Yeah, right now is good.
Wednesday for me, I think I have to drive somewhere probably in the morning, 6:30.
So beginning the sandhis. So this is the Mangala Charan. So I don't expect you to memorize Mangala Charan. So it's like a bonus thing. Yadidam sandhi nirmanam varna namarabhe muda tena me krishna padabje manah sandhir vidhi yatam. With great joy, I begin making the sandhi of the varnas. So O Krishna, may this cause the sandhi of my mind with your lotus feet. So Srila Jiva Goswami is saying that with great happiness, he begins making the sandhi of the varnas. And by such a service, such an act of servitude, may his mind also, may there be a sandhi of his mind towards lotus feet of Krishna. So that's his prayer. So it retains the devotional mood within the grammar even, such Manglacharan of the chapter. Yeah. So Sarva Prakarana Vyapi Varna Matra Nimittakah Varno Vikarah Sandhi Syad Vishayapekshakah Khochit. So it's talking of Sandhi now. Sandhi pervades all the prakaranas. So now Sandhi, the combination of the letters, it's not that only in the Sandhi chapter, this prakarana only, the Sandhi will happen. No. In all the chapters, these rules of Sandhi will be applied. In all the chapters, these rules of Sandhi which we'll be studying will be applied. So it's not that if we finish Sandhi chapter and move ahead, so it will work even if we forget. No, we have to retain all the rules in our mind all the times. And we'll do practice of that even. It is the transformation of a varna and is only caused by a varna. So Sandhi means it's a transformation of a varna. What is the transformation? We read three types of transformation. Adesha, Agama, Lopa. Adesha Virinchi, which is substitution, Agamo Vishnu, which is insertion, and Lopo Haraha, which is deletion. So this insertion, substitution, or deletion, they are the different types of transformations. So now we will enter into the practicalities of how those transformations take place just after this verse. So Manohar, if you had listened to the recording, so Adesha, Agama, and Lopa, you might have heard, right?
I didn't listen to the last one, but I remember them.
Okay, sure. So it is the transformation of a varna. So Sandhi means it's a transformation of a varna and is only caused by a varna. And the cause also is another varna. This also we'll see. Sometimes Sandhi depends on a particular Vishaya, sphere of application. So sometimes the Sandhi, the application of a Sandhi depends on a particular rule. If it demands that, okay, if this is the situation, then Sandhi should be there, or Sandhi should not be there. So then we follow accordingly. So all these things we'll just do as we move ahead. So now this is the first sutra of the Sandhi Prakarana, and so we'll just begin remembering Krishna, and may this also lead to our Sandhi of our mind towards Krishna's feet. Dashavatara ekatmake militva trivikramaham. So when a Dashavatara, what is a Dashavatara? The sutra?
Tasman dvau dvau ekatmakau.
No. What is the
Tesham
Dashavatara?
dvau dvau ekatmakau.
No, that's Ekatmaka.
Dashavatara. Okay, it is the third sutra. That's the Dashavatara.
Yeah. And Ekatmaka is Tesham dvau dvau ekatmako. And what is the Trivikrama?
Purvo Trivikrama.
No.
Paras Trivikrama.
Paras Trivikrama, yeah. Very nice.
Little confusion. Purva Vamanaha Paras Trivikrama.
Yeah. So when a Dashavatara is followed by its Ekatmaka, it joins with the Ekatmaka and becomes Trivikrama. For example, we have two words. Okay, let me explain one thing as well. Okay, I hope you are able to see this, right?
Yes.
You can understand Devanagari script. Yeah, you can understand, yes. So in Sandhi, we have two words, okay? First word is Krishna, and then the second word is Arjuna. So when we do Sandhi, so we insert, or we use this sign of plus. And in Sanskrit, we say it to be Yukta. Krishna, Yukta, Arjuna. So the first word Krishna is called Purvapada, Purvapada, and Arjuna, the second word is Uttarapada. Now, if we break down these words, so Krishna would be this Ka with the halanta, then the vowel Hri, then Sh with the halanta, then Na with the halanta, and the vowel A, ending with the letter A, Sarveshwara. And in Arjuna, similarly, A, Ra with halanta, Ja with halanta, U, Na with halanta, and A. So where sandhi happens, of what letters sandhi happen? So the antim varna, the last letter of the purvapada of the first word, and the prathama varna, the first letter of the uttarapada. So between them sandhi happens. Okay. Is it clear? Purvapada, uttarapada?
Yes.
Yeah, Purvapada, first word, and the next word is called Uttarapada.
Yeah.
And when you split them, the Krishna is ending it with A, and Arjuna is starting with A.
Yeah.
So those last letter and first letters of Purvapada and Uttarapada are called Antima Varna and Prathama Varna respectively. Okay, up to that I am clear.
Now the sandhi happens of between antim varna and prathama varna of both these padas, purva pada and uttara pada.
Okay.
Because they are next to each other. Means sh is not next to ja, so there cannot be sandhi between sh and ja, or ka or a, like that. The words next to each other are a and a in this case. So Dashavatara ekatmake militva trivikrama. It says when we have Dashavatara at the first place. So Dashavatara, a, I, U, ri. These are Dashavataras, the Dashavataras. So A is a Dashavatara, right?
Yeah.
Yes. So the sutra says if we have a Dashavatara at first place, when I say first place, then it means here.
Okay.
And then if we have an ekatmaka of this Dashavatara following at the second place, is a Rama ekatmaka of a Rama? I'm sorry? No. I'm asking, is a Rama ekatmaka of a Rama?
Okay, Arama means first one. The second one is we call Rama, and Rama is what is that? I forgot.
Tesham dvogdav ekatmako. A and A, they are ekatmakas.
Yeah, yes, and are ekatmakas, that's true. But the first one we call Rama, the second, the expanded version we call.
No, I'm not speaking of dvaya, advaya, idvaya. No, I'm not talking of that part. I'm just asking, is a Rama ekatmaka of a Rama?
See, Prabhu, what I understood is A is a short spell, right? A is long spell. Both are called ekatmaka.
Okay, both together are called ekatmakas.
Yeah,
of each other.
Both together are called ekatmakas.
Yeah. Okay. Now in ekatmaka, when we say ekatmaka, so a is equal to a. The short a is equal to short a. The long a is equal to long a. The third thing is the short a is equal to long a, and the long a is equal to short a. All possibilities.
Yeah.
So in this case, when we have short a in front of short a, so this is also an ekatmaka of this.
Yeah.
So when this thing happens, an ekatmaka is following its Dashavatara, or a Dashavatara is preceded by its ekatmaka, then militva means they both join or combine, and they become Trivikrama of itself. So what is the Trivikrama of a?
Paras Trivikrama is A.
Yeah, the long A. So they both join militva Trivikrama.
Okay. Okay.
And then it becomes Krishna. Then they both join. So this is also substitution, Adesha. We are replacing both the short Vamana as with a Trivikrama A.
Yeah.
So this is all Adesha, substitution. And Arjuna, so we combine Krishna Arjuna.
Okay.
So this was one which I had made to explain. So is it clear?
Yeah, for me, 99% clear.
Okay, so we'll study and make it 100% clear. So more examples are Krishna Yukta Agre. So again, we have a and then it's Ekatmaka. So they both join becomes Krishna Agre. Then we have Radha Yukta Agata. So Radha, the A is also the Shavatara, and this is an Ekatmaka of A. So they both join and become Radha Gata. Then we have Hari Hari Yukta Iti. Now Irama is a Dashavatara. And then the following Irama is its Ekatmaka. Okay, one thing to note here is if we have the Dashavatara, let's say Irama, and then if we have say a Rama or U Rama, then this sutra will not be applied because in this sutra the requirement is the letter following should be Ekatmaka of Dashavatara.
Okay.
The letter following here should be Ekatmaka of Dashavatara and not other letters. So in that case, this sutra will be applied.
Okay.
So Hari Hari Yukta Iti, again they become Trivikrama, Hari Hari Iti. Similarly, Hari Yukta Iha, again the same thing, Dashavatara, it's Ekatmaka, Hariha. Vishnu Yukta Udayaha, U Rama is Dashavatara and its Ekatmaka is U again, so Vishnu Udayaha. Vishnu Yukta Udha, U and the long U, Vishnudha. Then Nara Bhratri Yukta Rishihi. So Ri Rama is a Dashavatara and Hri Rama is its Ekatmaka. So they both join to become the Trivikrama Hri. So Nara Bhratri Rishihi. Likewise. Will any more examples? This is like very common and very frequently used sandhi. Any more examples if anyone is remembering? Let's say Parama Ananda.
Paramananda.
Yeah, it becomes Paramananda. Anything else? Bhima Yukta Arjuna becomes Bhimarjuna. Anything else? You open Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam will get many.
Matsya Avatara.
Okay. Matsya Avatara becomes Matsyavatara. Anything else? Vadati Iti becomes Vadatiti. So like that, many examples. Okay. Vishnu Uvacha. I'm just putting random examples. So Vishnu Vacha. So like that, this first sandhi takes place. Dashavatara Ekatmake Melitva Trivikrama.
We can put the Dashavatara itself, Dasha plus Avatara.
So Dasha Avatara. So Dashavatara. Yeah, Dashavatara.
Ekatmaka.
Yeah, Ekatmaka, right. Ekatmaka becomes ekatmaka. So like that. Yeah. Okay. We move ahead.
Yeah, sure.
So one thing is now we are studying Sandhi. So like personally, when I was studying this Vyakaran from my Guruji, so personally, I built a sense of Sandhi. I learned Sandhi from Prabhupada's books, from the synonyms of Prabhupada's. You know, the word meanings in Gita, Bhagavatam, not Chaitanya Charitamrita, that's Bengali. Because what Prabhupada does in synonyms, he undoes the Sandhi. Like in the shloka, we will see form like this, Krishnagre. But in the word to word meanings, he will break them apart, like Krishna is equal to the meaning, Agre is equal to some meaning, like that. So from there, I learned like my Sandhi or how to, the applications of Sandhi. So you also please, while we read. So that's the best place I prefer to learn Sandhis from.
Today I'll observe Prabhu while reading Bhagavad Gita.
Yeah, you
Till
can even.
today, I haven't seen that. I directly go to translation. Yes, there are breakups. I never read them. Today I'll see Prabhu.
Yeah, now on, please start reading synonyms also. So, yeah. Okay, so next sutra is Advaya Midvaya A. So, when Advaya, what is Advaya?
Tadadi dvaya dvaya means the couple of a.
Yeah, Tadadi Dvaya Dvayam, which means Advaya means a and a. What is Idvaya? Which letters?
E.
E.
Yes, and likewise. So, Advaya Midvaya A. When Advaya is followed by Idvaya, when Advaya is followed by Idvaya, it joins with Idvaya and becomes A. So what does it mean? When Advaya is followed by Idvaya, it joins with Idvaya and becomes A. For
A
example,
plus E is equal to A.
yeah, for example, we have example like Yadava, Yukta, Indraha. So at the first place, if we have either of Advayas, either short A or long A, and at the second place, if we have either of the Idvayas, either short or long E, then they both join and become A Rama. So Yadava Yukta Indraha, O and E both together are substituted or replaced by A Rama. So it becomes Yadavendraha. Similarly, Gokula Yukta Ishaha becomes Gokuleshaha. Mathura Yukta Ishaha becomes Mathureshaha. Any more example for this one? This is also very frequent Sandhi. Any example?
Can you go back, Prabhu, to that? Okay. Yadava Indraha. Yadavendraha. Gokula Ishaha Gokuleshaha. Mathura Ishaha Mathureshaha. Okay, Prabhu. Let me think.
Now, like say Gop, Yukta, Indra, Gopendra.
Gopendra. Upa plus Indra Upendra.
Yeah, sure. Actually, we know these words. It's just that we are studying it from a technical point of view.
Yeah.
Upendra.
Normally we know these, Prabhu, but to break and recollect in the brain, it is taking time.
Yeah, means at least it's there in the subconscious mind. Means the words.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Sarveshvara.
Yeah, Sarva and Ishvara becomes Sarveshvara. And yeah, what else? Nara Yukta Isha becomes, what does it become?
Narisha.
Yeah, Naresha. Similarly, Sura Yukta Isha becomes Suresha, and like that.
Mahesha.
Yeah, Maha.
Ma plus Isha, Maheshwara.
So
Bhima plus Isha, Bhimeshwara.
Tatha Yukt Iti. Tatha Yukt.
Tatheti.
Yeah, Tatheti. Tatheti. Madhava Yukta Iti. Madha. What does it become?
Madhaveti.
Yeah, Hey Krishna Damodara Madhaveti. That prayer. Govinda Damodara Madhaveti. So very frequent Sandhi. Very much used.
Prabhu, we have this word called as Tesham, right? Tesham is single word, Prabhu, or it is a Sandhi?
Tesham.
Yeah, Tesham.
Tesham is a single word, Prabhu.
Okay. Like Tesha Prasam, there is coming in mind, I don't know. I just want to check with you.
Tesham is a single word. So like that, these are few examples of when Advaya. So basically we can, oops. So we can say that this sandhi is when we have Advaya and Yukta Idvaya, then they result into A. Okay? So, like that.
Okay.
So, moving ahead, the next sandhi is Udvaya O. When Advaya is followed by Udvaya, it joins with Udvaya and becomes O. For example, Purusha Yukta Uttamaha.
Purushottamaha.
So when we have Advaya at the first place and Udvaya at the second place, when we say Dvaya and Dvaya, it means any of the letters of the Dvaya, the short or the long. So they both join here, Advaya and Udvaya, and they are replaced by O Rama. So Purusha Yukta Uttamaha becomes Purushottamaha. Suparna Yukta Udhaha becomes Suparnodhaha. Dwaraka Yukta Utsavah becomes Dwarakotsavah. Any examples for this one?
Yeah. Surya plus Udaya, Suryodaya.
Yeah. So Dvaya Yukta Udvaya becomes Orami. So examples are Surya Yukta Udayaha becomes Suryodaya. Yeah. What more?
Ishopanishad.
Yeah. Isha Upanishad becomes Isha. Yeah. Ishopanishad. Yes. What else?
Om.
I'm sorry?
Om.
Yeah, generally, yeah, it's explained by acharyas like that. So it becomes Om, as they say. Om. What else? Maha Yukta Utsavah becomes
Mahotsava.
Mahotsavah. What else? Okay. Karana Udaka becomes Karana Udaka, we say Karana Udaka, Shai, Vishnu, and so on. So
Yeah.
Udaka is like ocean. So
Garbha plus Odaka,
yeah,
Garbhodaka,
same. Yeah, Garbha Udaka, Garbha Udaka, and the third one is Kshira Udaka is
Kirodaka.
Kshira Udaka. Yeah, Kshira Udaka. So like that. Clear? Is it clear, Prabhuji?
Yes.
Or you're thinking of some more examples. So like that.
Yeah.
So here is some explanation. So in this sutra, Udvay O, like in the previous sutra, we had Advayam Idvay A. You know, when Advaya is the first place and Idvaya at the second, then they both join and become A. Here,
Okay.
Advayam is not there. But in
Yeah.
the translation, if we see Advaya, that part is taken. So now someone may question or think that in the sutra it's not there Advaya. Why in the translation they're accepting? So uh, it's being explained here. The word Advayam in this sutra is carried forward from the previous sutra. You know, the word Advayam is carried forward from the previous sutra. This is in accordance with the following verse. Karyana hanyate kari, karyam karyana hanyate, nimittam cha nimittena, yat shesham anuvartate. A karyi is eliminated by a karyi. A karya is eliminated by a karya. A nimitta is eliminated by a nimitta, and that which remains is carried forward, anuvartate. So basically, in the sutras, the structure of the sutras, the formation is such that if, let's say, something has to be continuously used or referred to in a set of sutras, then what will happen is they will give that part in the very first sutra, let's say Advayam in this case, and in the rest of the sutras, they will not give that part. There will be anuvritti of that part throughout, till the place or till the sutra it is used. So now in this case, Advayam is mentioned in 43 Sutra, Advayam. But this Advayam, the use will be continued in next 3-4 sutras. But it will not be mentioned separately in the sutras. So this concept is known as Anuvritti, that we carry it forward. So it's understood, it's implied, we carry it forward. Is it clear? Anuvritti, just the main point is Anuvartate, Anuvritti. It's carried forward. There are two kinds of nimittas. This is like an extra. We'll study this in detail, like in the next chapter, beginning. Two kinds of nimittas. Nimittas are the causes. One is prang nimitta or purva nimitta, which is the previous cause, and one is the para nimitta, the subsequent cause, which is lying, which is afterwards. Prang nimitta is a nimitta that comes before the karyi, and a paranimitta is a nimitta that comes after the karyi. Okay, let me explain these concepts of. So one thing is karya. Second thing is karyi. Third thing is, they say prang nimitta. We can also say purva nimitta as well. And the fourth thing is the paranimitta. So nimitta means cause. So karya means the action, the effect which is taking place. Like in Karana and Udaka, what was the effect which was taking place? It was adesha, which means substitution. Substitute. Right? So karya means the effect, and effect are of three kinds basically, what we have studied till now: adesha, agama, and lopa. Karyi is the karya sthana, which means the place where the effect takes place. So in this case, this Arama and Urama, they were Karyi, the Karya Sthana, and there the effect was taking place. The effect of Adesha in this case was taking place, right? And then Prang Nimitta. Prang Nimitta is the Purva Nimitta, a former cause, and Paranimitta is the subsequent cause. We'll study about this more, Paranimitta and Prangnimitta. But we studied Karya and Karya even here. So these are a few important terms we have to remember. Is it okay? Karya, Karyi, which is Karya Sthan, Prangnimitta, which is also Purva Nimitta, and Paranimitta. Is it okay? These four terms?
Yes, Prabhu.
So that anuvritti, we should remember that when such are the cases, it is anuvritti which is carried forward. That particular part is carried forward.
And while reading the Sandhya also, I got this doubt, Prabhu. Like, there are two sutras like Varjitaha Sarveshwara Ishwaraha
Yes.
Dashavatara Ishaha. Then I thought like, okay, how they're treating, I thought of asking, but now you got that point.
Yeah, very good observation. I thought about it, but not seriously. That's also the same thing. So Varjita Sarveshwara Ishvara, and if we say properly, then Varjita Dashavatara Isha,
Yeah.
But that part Varjita is eliminated because of this concept anuvritti.
No, yeah, I got it now. Yeah, that is
very nice observation, Roji. So
thank you, bro.
Yeah. So here we complete three sutras, which were quite frequently used sutras, sandhis. Okay, so we'll stop here for the grammar part. Any questions till now in the grammar part?
No, Prabhu. I think there is one big sutra. I think we will see how to 41, how to memorize that one. Other than that,
No, don't. You need not memorize 41 and 40. It won't. It will work. That is like a Mangalacharan verse, introduction verse.
Okay, 40 and 41 are Mangala.
Yeah, so you can memorize from 42. These are the
okay,
sutras.
Prabhu. Yeah, these are simple. Okay,
I'm trying my best to give less things to memorize. So, but whatever I am telling, please try to do that. Means the memorization part at least.
Yeah, at least how it is helping you is initially when I memorized, I thought like I was unable to recollect. But when you're talking about these things, those are automatically coming.
Yeah.
Like when you say Ekatmakas, I know like what is Ekatmaka. When you say Trivikrama, I know what is Trivikrama. That's good, Prabhu. At least if I was able to memorize in the future applications, I was able to recollect that. I don't know the sequence, but I know what it is.
Yeah. Okay. Till where?
I mean, if you ask like what is 20th Sutra, I don't know. But if you say like what is Dashavatara, I can say Dashavatara.
Yeah, that only I want. Means the definitions.
Okay, Prabhu. Okay, Prabhu.
Okay, till where did we read, if you remember, Prabhu? Because I'm teaching the same thing in 2-3 classes, so I'm like.
We read up to 7, I guess, Prabhu. Let us see.
We did 7.
We read this one, Prabhu, 7 and 8.
So it's a 9th verse, right?
Yeah.
So 119. So let me just bring the verse.
Yeah, you have to copy it. We copied
Means
until
like in only few verses we have this problem. Then it's properly put up there. Like one devotee is voluntarily doing this service. So of converting from Bengali. Okay, so this is Canto 1 and Chapter 1, Text 9. So, Tatra Tatra Tatrang Jasa Yushman Bhavata Yad Vinishchitam Pumsamekantatah Shreyas Tannah Shanksitum Arhasi. The Anvaya is, Hey Ayushman. Ayushman word refers to, it's basically is a blessing that may you live long, one with a long life.
yeah, like Dirghayushman Bhava kind of
Yes,
thing.
yes. May you live long. So, hey Ayushman, one who is blessed with a long life. And devotees, uh, in some stories also we heard here, should live long because anyhow, means they live or they do not live, anywhere they will be happy because they are doing good thing only. So, hey Ayushman is uh, one whose lifespan is longer, something like that, literally. Bhavata,
Is this Sutta Goswami, right?
yes, to Sutta Goswami.
He was blessed by Balaram after the
Yes,
death of Maharshana, so he
yes,
got
yes, yes.
a long life.
Interestingly, Balramji, he sort of killed. That is also a blessing from Balramji, Romaharshana Muni, Rishi, and then there was a there was a rage amongst the audience, the Rishi Munis who were sitting there listening the katha, and they were quite unhappy with Balramji actually, that now you have killed our Vyasa, who was speaking to us the Bhagavatam, and now who will continue? Then Balramji said, "Oh, there are many. Anyone can continue." Then rishis, they were, so determined. No, we want to hear from Romharshan only. You bring Romharshan Rishi. So they were quite stubborn, we'll say, the rishis. And now Balramji was like, he got stuck. So what to do? Then he saw that Suta was sitting there, and Suta is son of Romharshan, right? So, and like father, like son. So a son is equal to his father. So then Balramji, he blessed. He said, okay, to all the rishis, I will certainly fulfill all your desires, whatever you wish. So he blessed Suta Goswami personally and said that now Suta Goswami will be the Vakta, the one who will continue the Katha. And because he is Romaharshan Rishi's son, so he's equal to his father. So I'm not breaking my words now. I'm keeping your words. So that's how now Balramji is the presiding deity or the predominating deity of Samvit Shakti, the Samvit potency, the Chit potency. Like we know about the Hladini Shakti, Radharani is the personification the of Hladini. Of Samvit, it's Balramji. I'm not sure about Sandhi yet, but I got a reference for Samvit Shakti from by Bhakti Siddhanta Prabhupada ji that Balramji is the personification, let's say, or the predominating deity. So, so he himself blessed Suta. So means there is no doubt that Suta Goswami is lacking or may lack in something, some knowledge or something. So anyhow, so hey Ayushman is Suta Goswami. Bhavata त्वया by you तत्र तत्र तेषु तेषु अधीत आख्यात शास्त्रेषु अंजसा ग्रंथार्जवेन पुंसां मानवानाम् एकांततः श्रेयः अव्यभिचारी श्रेयः साधनम यत् विनिश्चितं सिद्धांतितम. So now the Rishi is headed by Shaunaka Rishi. They are continuing speaking to Suta Goswami that oh Suta Goswami, in the previous verse we read that they had mentioned that Suta Goswami had studied all the scriptures very nicely, scrutinizingly from his teachers, and the teachers were not the general teachers, the normal teachers. They were teachers who were like Vedam Shreshtha. Ved Vidam Shreshtha and Paravara Vidah. What does that mean? The two words Ved Vidam Shreshtha. They were the best of those who are learned in the Vedas. And they were Paravara Vidah. They were confident in their knowledge about both aspects of the Lord, the Nirguna, impersonal aspect, and the Saguna, the personal aspect. So such were the teachers of Suta Goswami. And Snigdhasya Shishyasya Bruyu. And they didn't just formally spoke to Suta Goswami or give or revealed the knowledge. From their heart, the knowledge came to Suta Goswami because Suta Goswami was Snigdha Shishya. What was Snigdha? We read he was Snigdha is Guru Vishayaka Premagata Vishrabdhasya. He was very dear student, disciple of all those teachers. So he has read all those shastras, Adhita, and he has also very well explained the shastras. This is not his first time. So the rishis are saying to him that when you were studying and describing, explaining the shastras, so in your study, in what ultimate shreya, what ultimate auspiciousness or welfare of pungsam, of the human beings in general, have you concluded? Which is very, very easy to be understood and very easy to be applied from those shastras which you have read and explained. This is the point. Tatra, in those shastras which you have read and explained, what is that ekantatah shreyah? What is that ultimate welfare activity, act for all the pungsam, manavanam, for all the human beings that you have concluded that could be achieved and understood very easily? What is that ultimate welfare act? Tat Nishreyasam. So that welfare, ultimate beneficiary act, Tvam Naha Shanksitum Arhasi. You are qualified to reveal that Shreya to us. You may please tell that process of ultimate welfare to us. This is the point. Yogya Asi. You are qualified to reveal that confidential knowledge to us, by which any human being can attain to his ultimate welfare. Yad asmakam sarvatha nitya charama mangalakaram tat shushrushu nasman bruhi iti bhava. So yad asmakam, so that nishreya, that welfare, ultimate welfare activity, what will it do? It will be nitya charama mangalakaram. It will always do charama mangala, the supreme auspiciousness. It will bestow supreme auspiciousness to us who are desirous of hearing it. Shushrushun. So please relate or tell that confidential matter to us. This is the point in this verse. Is it clear?
Yes.
Yes, Prabhu.
So, yeah. Okay, so we'll stop here if there is no any discussion question. So very nice. The rishis are speaking very nicely. So
Yeah.
so we'll resume tomorrow. So tomorrow on we'll start the new schedule. So 5 p.m. IST, half an hour before.
Yeah. Sure, Prabhu.
Okay. Thank you, Prabhujis. We'll see you tomorrow. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.